Hello class, this is Larry Asplund. I thought it would take just a couple of minutes here on a Friday night to make a quick video tutorial to illustrate how to do MLA formatting in the context of Microsoft Word. Unfortunately, this is a PC, this is my Dell computer, so that if you have a Macintosh computer, this may not help you very much. In addition, this is Office 2010, so if you have an older version of Office, you will also have an older version, obviously, of Microsoft Word as well. So it still will be very, very similar, and I thought it would take some time just to illustrate. Now, this is from the last class I taught. I hope you don't know Mr. Abraham. He's a great student, actually, and did very, very well, but I thought I would just save a paper of his, kind of tweak it a little bit, make it worse than it was, so I can illustrate just some formatting ideas. First of all, you will notice that Mr. Abraham thinks he has a footer, but he doesn't really. All he did was type in his name and then put a lot of spaces in and type in his name and the number one, which is really not a header. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out, go all the way back, a lot of spaces for Mr. Abraham. So I'm just going to take that out. One of the things I want to do right away is show you that the default setting for Microsoft Word is really not helpful for us when it comes to college writing. You can see it, Calibri is the font face, that's 11 type, 11 size, and really what we need for points is 12, and Times Roman is usually recommended. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose everything on this paper. I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut, do Control A, that means all, and then I'm going to go up and just change all of that. I'm going to put this into Times New Roman. I'm going to put it 12 point, and then that helps me right away to begin with. And then everything in an MLA paper is double spaced. Nothing is ever single spaced, and that really makes it very, very helpful for you when it comes to formatting your paper. But one of the problems that we have with the default setting in Microsoft Word is it puts extra spaces after a line, so everything looks like it's more than double space. So I'm going to come up here to where it says line spacing, and notice that it is set on double space, but there are line spacing options. Notice that here is a double space, but afterwards it's got 2 lines. Usually we'll have 10 points afterwards. I just want it to be 0, so I'm going to make sure that that's 0. And really what I should have done is do that for the whole document. So I'm going to go back and do Control A, and I'm going to pick all the contents again, and I'm going to come back down and make sure my line spacing is 0. So I'm going to put in 0 points after every line, and then see, it now looks like just kind of a normal double space. So Mr. Abraham has the correct information up here on the top left, the course introductory information, his name, my name. I'm going to go ahead and type in Larry, the name of the class on the 3rd line, and then the date on the 4th line. Obviously that's the date of his class. And then what I'm going to do is I need to insert a header. So I'm going to come up here to insert, and I'm going to go over here to header, and I am going to insert a header. Now this header needs to be flush right, so I'm going to go back to my home tab, and I'm going to make sure I'm flush right, and then I'm going to type in the last name. So all that's in the header is the last name of the student. So this is Abraham, and then we need the page number, but the page number, in order to change for every page, has to be a special code. So I'm going to go back to insert. Now this might be a little bit different if you have an older version of Word, but for 2010 we go to Quick Parts, and I need to find a page field. So I'm going to just type field. I'm going to go down to where it says page, and I want just the Arabic numerals 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to pick that and OK, and now I have my header. So that page number will change with every page. I'm going to go back down to the body, and let's see, it looks like everything is good. Oh, one of the things I just noticed, again, the default setting from Microsoft Word calls for a margin on the left and on the right to be 1.25 inches, which is not really correct margins for MLA. So I need to make sure that my margin is 1 inch all the way around. So I'm going to go to page layout. I need to go and find my margins. This might be outside of my recording area actually, but I'm going to pick normal 1 inch all the way around and see how it moved it a little bit to the left. And so that kind of brought that more into conformity to MLA. So there's the title of the paper. This is a paper you all are working on. Automatically the indentation is 1/2 of an inch. That is the default for Microsoft Word. That helps. You don't have to do anything with that. One of the things I want to point out is that with MLA, it's in text documentation, which means that when you have a quotation, looks like he's got 2 dots rather than 3, so I'll throw another one in there. When you have a quotation, then you just put the name of the source and the number. You don't write out page, you don't put P dot period or PG or whatever. It's just, oh, I was in the wrong place, just the number of the page. See, so you don't put anything else. Just so this is Student Handbook 7, that means page 7. So I'm going to keep going down. See, he's got another kind of an attempt at a header, which of course it isn't a header, and he had to do some fancy footwork to get there. So I'm going to bring everybody back in line. He's quoting Lunsford. Notice the Lunsford text, page 218, is a quotation. Once again, I need to make sure that this is in line, so I brought that up 1 space. This I also need to bring up another space. It looks like he had put in 2 double spaces rather than 1. Once again, he's got here, we have an attempt at a header, but of course it isn't a header, so I'm just bringing everything back up so that it automatically formats correctly. Need to bring this up 1 space so it's double spaced. Down to page 3, and then we should be coming up on the works side. Oh, we have another one of these attempts at a header first of all. Now the works cited page is what we have in MLA instead of a bibliography, but it needs to be at the head, the top of its own page. So I'm going to use my shortcut Control Enter, and that creates a new page. And again, this, he gave a wrong entry. You look up in your MLA resource to find out the right way to post an entry for something on the internet. And this is good. Again, it needs to be just double spaced. And notice please that with the works cited page, when you, and by the way, we don't need the word page, just works cited, we know it's a page. The first line is always flush left, but the second and following lines are indented 1/2 of an inch, so that's correct on that one. So I think you see how easy it is to format for MLA in Microsoft Word. Let me refer you again to what I think is the very best resource in our class, and that is the online writing lab at Purdue University. The address is owl.english.purdue.edu, and you're going to find some really, really great resources there. Hope that was a little bit helpful. Thought I would just throw that at you at a Friday night. God bless you. You all have a great weekend.